Hi guys, my name is Sophia and today I'm going to persuade you guys on the topic of pro-choice and abortions. So I say this because women are the essential carriers of baby and that alone is very stressful, and whether they have a decision in it or not, it's very stressful. I don't think there's really much of a debate for it, but it's still highly controversial. So the idea is that people not carrying babies should not be deciding policy for the person who is potentially gonna carry a baby. But of course, conditions would be different for minors. Okay, so imagine you have a 14-year-old female daughter in the state of Ohio with one of the strictest reproductive rights and abortion laws. That's the state of Ohio. Okay, so carrying on, you allow your child to have a study date with a classmate, which is a boy. So one penis and one vagina. Assuming both parties are straight, this makes it possible for sexual reproduction. You believe your child is studying, but little did you know things were getting down and dirty in your bedroom. It was a good experience for the both of them, but they had not learned of sex education yet. You only found out because your daughter started gaining weight and a big appetite. So it was kind of apparent to her that she might have been pregnant. I mean, she started telling you guys about the possibility of being pregnant after the one-night stand she had in your bedroom while they were supposed to be studying. They had no idea what a condom was, and she didn't really have her period at the time, so she was like, why not? Why not try it? But before you all knew it, you guys were talking about abortion for your daughter because she is still so young and still had a whole life ahead of her. At this point, she had just entered her second trimester. And at what cost would it be to you guys if she had a baby? Okay, so in some places of the country, they are restricting reproductive rights and abortions through laws and policies. So in some states, they are incriminating women for miscarriages. Law enforcement is locking women up after like 6 weeks of like a fetal heartbeat. So that is hardly enough time to know you're really even pregnant. After the first 6 weeks, women are not allowed to get an abortion, and it is against the law in some states like Ohio, or else they'll face heavy criminal charges for murder and such. Okay, so based on the Baby Center website, at 6 weeks, your baby is literally the size of a lentil bean or smaller than your thumb. So this small, or like half the size of this hair tie. It's around that small at 6 weeks. And that's really small. It's not really considered much yet. And that is really the reason for the law. Well, because you can possibly detect a heartbeat at 6 weeks. It's not really considered life yet because, it's just a heartbeat that some people might be able to find at 6 weeks. Usually it takes around 8 to 10 at times, or even later than that. So you can't really tell. You might have missed your period, or you might have missed your period during or due to the pregnancy, or you just don't know. You might be missing a period. It's pretty common to miss your period too. So I really think it's something for females to decide on because it's their body and they didn't really know. It's not like they had a choice in it until they knew of it afterwards. So I first became interested in the topic when I was young. I was a person who strongly believed that people should not get abortions because it was killing a baby, and I was a really young child then. I didn't even have sex ed yet or health ed, and when I entered my first high school health class, I learned that it was a very painful process to go through, and life really just starts in the beginning of the second trimester. And I say this based on a paper I read called Fetus as Human Beings, Where is the Cut-Off Point? The article provides scientific evidence that says life really starts later than 6 weeks. So I will be essentially talking about the decision and how women should do as they please with their own bodies. And I'm going to be giving you guys some examples on it. So the topic is pretty controversial because the policies regarding abortions are primarily made by politicians who are mostly men. So people who are deciding on these policies are majority men, right? In 2019, The Guardian, which is a news outlet, reported that all the white men in Alabama voted to ban abortions. Not one man in Alabama did they vote to allow abortions in 2019, and not much has really changed since then. The cause of this is affecting impoverished women, and especially those who are colored. This brings in a lot of reasons why women should decide and be able to decide on reproductive rights. So women also have the right to decide because they're really directly linked to a new life form that is forming inside of them for a year, almost a year. So who exactly are the people who are carrying the babies? Women, right? So based on better health, the process of pregnancy, right? It's very painful. So one of the side effects of pregnancy is pretty much constant. They're always going to have something going on with their bodies, and that's because of the baby, right? Hormones. And some of it is like mood swings, tender breasts, fatigue, weighing more. Second trimester would consist of cravings, fatigue, and weight gain again. Third would be anxiety, back pain, weight gain, harder to sleep, pressure on your lungs because of the weight of the baby, and contractions, like fake contractions. And last of all, there's labor and after labor. So there's also like tearing of the vagina, which can result in stitches and tons of pain after urination and recovery. Or there will be C-section, which is also really painful. But yeah, another thing would be financial problems, right? So why would someone ban the right on termination of a baby? According to parenting.com, the average cost of a baby can take up to $12,000 a year. And this is not even accounting for the equipment parents have to get for a baby. According to NBC, the minimum wage for Ohio is only $8.80 in 2021. So imagine the number of hours dedicated for a baby for the median individual person in Ohio that is making $30,000 per year. And keep in mind that the minimum wage in 2019 is $8.55 based on the census. And it didn't really change much since, because it only went up by like 20-ish cents. And the cost of raising a baby keeps on going up. Another thing would be abortions are dangerous. They're dangerous because people do them at home, do-it-yourself, DIY abortions. Thousands of women die from abortions a year, and based on Wikipedia results, which are also based on the WHO, which is the World Health Organization, right? There's around an 8% mortality rate for women that DIY an abortion. And really, this just means that women should have the decision of having a safe abortion with a decision of carrying a baby to term because, there are many factors to why a person would want to proceed with terminating a baby. And really, to end this off, I haven't really listed all the decisions and outcomes and situations a woman would have to terminate a baby, but there are plenty. And abortion should be a choice decided on the mother because there are many factors like uncontrollable factors, financial situations, health risks, pain, and it's basically torture. But you can also do it in vitro, in vitro baby, or adopt, foster. And why carry a baby to term if you're not gonna plan on keeping a baby, maybe? And another thing is that there's overpopulation. There's more than enough children in foster homes, and there's just so many reasons why a person should be able to decide on whether they want or do not want a baby. And that's pretty much all I have for today.